Agents, I have to tell you right now, if you're running around showing people houses without a true buyer orientation, you're wrong or you're struggling. Let's be honest. You need to qualify them.
Yes.
You need to set groundwork and expectations. It's not a conversation that can be done on the fly. And you need that client to respect you and respect your time. And that comes from saying to them, listen, when we get out there, there's going to be some things that you need to know about before we're in the house. And this is actually going to save you hours and hours and hours of time of us driving around to look at things that don't make sense.
Welcome everyone. Norman Kinsey here, Realty First Technology Unleashed. Super excited. It is a beautiful morning, Wednesday morning, February 4th, and we have a special guest with us today. I'm super excited to have her on the show, and this is the second time we were trying to get her on, and so we finally made it happen this time, and we have the one and only Angela on the show, and welcome to Realty First Technology. How are you?
I'm great. Thank you. Love it. It's beautiful. Can't be wrong if you're in Phoenix, Arizona.
The weather right now is perfect.
It's amazing.
And there's so much going on. You have waste management's here, the Renaissance Fair's here. I've been seeing all these things. So just FYI, if you want to come to Arizona and do some cool stuff in February, place to be.
It's the place to be. We just got Barrett Jackson just ended.
Yes,
So
I
much good
just
stuff.
missed that because my wife's birthday. And so we went up to the Grand Canyon. And I was just like, oh, I just missed it. I wanted to go. They have some cool cars and it's just, and it's fun because my wife, she's likes but doesn't really like cars, but she likes all the other stuff. Patio furniture, barbecuers, massage chairs, just something for everyone there.
Yeah, it's like a little field trip. It's amazing.
Yeah, absolutely love that. So speaking of Arizona, are you a native? Have you been here your whole life or?
No, we've been here almost 20 years. We're from the Portland, Oregon area.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. We were just talking about that. So Jesse Dell's on the podcast, the List Off Experience. And so he flew out to be on the show and you saw that he was on.
Yeah.
And excited to have you on as well. So we were talking a little bit about passive prospecting and the whole YouTube thing.
Yes.
And you're someone that focuses primarily a lot on listings.
Yes.
And I love the concierge service and how you go deeper with your clientele. And also, I gave a call and you had someone already answered the phones, taking care of things behind the scenes. So what was a catalyst to get into real estate from the beginning?
You know, I owned a landscaping company that I owned and operated. My husband was on the corporate side.
Okay.
And it with some of my passive income as we became successful in landscaping here, I was buying some rentals and I had a couple not great experiences. And I remember thinking, I could do it better. Like I really could. And this is so petty, but I finally stopped and thought about it and I had sent this agent 5 referrals in a year.
Wow.
And I didn't know what that meant financially, but I figured it must have been something. And I remember being really surprised, like the last 3, two of them are ours, and we didn't get a closing gift. And I've bought and sold a lot of times, and that kind of triggered. I was like, oh, maybe it'll come tomorrow.
Yeah.
No, maybe next week. And we didn't get a closing gift. The person didn't come to anything.
What?
Yeah. And then I had referred 3 other people that I know successfully bought and sold and didn't get a note card, nothing. And my business experience in the background from had always been to do those kind of things.
Yeah, it's little things.
Yeah. And so I thought, I'm going to check this out. We're going to buy a couple more rentals this year. I think I'll just get my license for me, you know, because I think I'll do a better job showing up for myself. And I ended up selling a house kind of by mistake. And then I sold 34 houses the next 12 months.
Let's go. Yeah. That's awesome. And it's an awesome story. It's a testament to what you've done and how you saw the writing on the wall. You're like, obviously you're not seeing there's an opportunity here. And it reminds me of a book called The 7 Triggers to Yes, where people forget what you said and did, but they won't forget the way you made them feel. So, it may not even be so much about the gift, but just the thought.
I think that's really what it was.
Right? Like,
honestly. Yeah. And it made me stop and think about it and start thinking a little deeper. And I thought, and I don't think I would have ever even gone down that path if it hadn't been for that. And then when I realized the financial ramifications there, I went, landscaping, you work a lot.
Yeah.
It's hot. It's hard. You have to have a lot of clients to, cover. I mean, you're working with potentially 50 different clients a week, not 50 clients a year.
Yeah.
So there's just not that same personalization, that same touch. And my kids were just kind of old enough that I was no longer doing the mom shuffle. And I thought, okay, I could do a few evenings and weekends and, maybe pare back what I was doing work wise. Yeah, after that first 12 months, I went, okay, I sold the landscaping company.
Really?
Mhm.
Wow, congratulations on that. So what was the catalyst? So you're going through these transactions, you are now obviously doing closing gift. What was something that you put together that obviously turned into 34 plus transactions?
I think the big part of it was I asked a lot of questions.
Mm,
I didn't go in with ego or
I love that.
assumptions. I showed up.
Yeah.
I showed up to show the houses, even if I was like, I can tell this isn't going to be for them. I
Mm,
showed up for the inspections. I
mhm,
showed up for the signings. I
mm,
showed up for a final walkthrough. I
mhm.
showed up with a closing gift. And I think that too many people out there, they just kind of go through the motions
Yeah.
and they just do the bare minimum.
Yep.
And we make really great money. And I think our clients deserve for us to show up, right?
Oh, 100%. 100%. One thing comes to mind to me is California. My wife, I have a 7-year-old daughter, Jordan. Melissa's my wife. You'll meet her after the show. And we come from California here. And
Mhm.
speaking of, before we got on the show, talking about YouTube. So I found
Yeah.
some guy on YouTube showing me all these different areas. The guy that I bought this house from is part of a team. I want to see the 610, 640, 10 group. I
Mhm.
forgot the name of the guy.
Mhm.
Long story short, I said, we're gonna do all this stuff to this house. This is like the ugliest house in the nicest block story.
Yeah.
And he's like, yeah, okay, cool. That's sure. Fantastic. Awesome. Happy for you. Whatever. Nothing. No
Yeah.
call, no text, no come over. I got the most interesting card in the world. I'm like, this is all I'm going to get. And
Yeah.
there was no closing gift or anything.
Yeah.
Even like, hey, like, here's a fan because I know you're going to replace them all. Or here's a door handle or just something simple. Like, I love that you listen first. And so, what was some gifts that you gave that maybe were like some ones where people were like, oh my God, I didn't even expect this. And they were just like, over the moon or enthralled.
So, before the builders started putting them on all their houses, it was kind of a new techie thing that people loved but didn't know how to do it.
Mm.
The Ring doorbell.
Yeah, yeah.
So I gave the Ring doorbell for like 2 years. And if they had
Wow.
the newer doorbell system where you need the adapter, my husband would just come over and put it on for them if they weren't, techie or anything like that.
Nice.
But we had so many people. I would get people messages. Oh, I just saw my kids got home from school safely, and they'd send me a little screenshot.
Aw.
So you just something that was useful to them,
Yes.
hopefully.
Yes.
You'll never see me give gift cards as a closing
Mm,
gift.
I
I
love
want
that.
something either has their name on it. I don't. I know it sounds
Mhm.
weird, but we're not heavy on putting our name on things.
Yeah,
People will keep things that have their name on it.
agreed.
So either that or something's meaningful or useful based
Mhm.
off, we had one client last year that they were going to turn their upstairs area into, it was kind of a loft area, and they were going to make it a full cinematic, theater room.
Ooh,
And so they were really excited about it. They have 5 kids.
yeah,
So we connected them with a trusted vendor, which is half
yeah.
the battle for a
Yep.
lot of them. And then as their closing gift, we got them this huge popcorn machine,
Aw,
kind of like the movie theater style. And
yeah.
it's nothing fancy or special, but it meant something to them because their kids were so excited to use it together in their new theater room.
Oh my God, I absolutely love that, and that reminds me, so something that I'm doing, and, one of the reasons why, before we got on the show, is just like, all right, I've been pushing really hard. I went out to the general public on Monday, and
Mhm.
I started to have you ever heard of the School of Hard Knocks series? It's basically a young guy, he interviews million and billionaires and finds out how they've been successful. You might have saw the guy,
I
he's, like, in
think
his
I've seen
20s.
it. I think I've seen it, but I've never didn't realize it was a series.
Yeah, it's a series on it's just short form stuff. So I said, okay, I'm gonna go to the general public and ask some questions and find out, do they rent? Do they own? Do they know what an escrow is?
Mhm.
And then go into a series of questions. And so it's funny that you said what you said because the thing that you did, they're always going to remember when they're eating the popcorn or they're using the ring, right?
Mhm.
And the couple people that I interviewed, went to like 30, got 15 interviews. A couple of the homeowners said they don't even remember the last agent they used. And
Mm.
it was like a family friend. I said, well, would you use them again? No.
Mm-mm.
So it's so interesting how you're doing something to completely change that narrative and give someone the opportunity each time they're eating the popcorn and seeing the ring,
Yeah.
you're top of mind, which is super smart people out there. So take some notes on that because that's, I think, where individuals completely miss the mark. And I was talking to Jesse Dow about this. The other end of the coin, like you said, no one wants your name on their gift. But if
Mm-mm.
it's like a lot of people are doing this YouTube stuff, the living in, moving to with like maybe it's the logo of Arizona. and then it's like the logo of Arizona, which is a little bit different than, someone's name, or it's their name, even more powerful.
Right.
I love that.
Yeah, it's been an exciting way to build our business. It's been a fun way,
Yeah.
relationship, less transactional. I have a $6.25 million listing right now.
Congrats.
That came from, thank you, but it came from a conversation with someone that had just bought a house, just moved, not with me. I hadn't met her yet. She'd moved here like 4 months before I'd met her. She wasn't dissatisfied with her agent. We took it to a different place with getting to know her, following up, staying in contact.
Love that.
And when she got asked a year later from her agent in her prior state, hey, can I get your agent's name? I need a referral there. They were going to buy like a second house for like in a 55 plus.
Yeah.
I had no idea they were flying in on their private jet. And I asked her, I said, why did you give her us? And she said, well, I got a Christmas card and that's it.
Wow.
And I never heard from her again. She said, and you keep me so informed on our neighborhood and our community. And but in a very low key, non-pushy, it just feels like you genuinely care to share. She goes, I figured if you do half of what you do for them as what you just take care of us automatically, they're going to be in great hands. And so we were very fortunate.
Oh my God, that is so cool. Congratulations on that. And it's something so simple to everyone out there. I've had agents over the years like, I just can't follow up. I just don't know what it is. I just don't know how to reach out. And I'm like, just call. You've already helped them buy a house. What's the big deal? It's like not that big of a deal. And for some reason, I don't know why, it's a big deal out there for a lot of individuals. And I love that hopefully someone out there could take this information and they could really think about it, because I'm not even an agent. And I literally last night just got a buyer lead. And so because of the podcast, like, hey, I know you're in Arizona. I got a buyer lead for you. I said, send them on over, and then I'll make sure to take good care of them and send them to whoever, whatever the case may be. And things that I do too is like, I know people that want to work with us and we're not cheap. So I was like, here's a buyer lead, qualified, ready to go, all cash. And then next thing you know, they're like, hey, we're buying a website from you now. I'm like, okay, like that's perfect. Now you just reinvest in your own business. That's a tax write-off. Because I'm, not licensed, so I'm not getting any commissions or any referral fees, which I don't even care to. I just like to, serve, support, help, and then bring awareness to our industry. That's why we even did this show. It's like, how do we bring more awareness to help elevate our industry? Because you probably know the top 10% does 90% of the business in this industry.
I think, isn't it a higher number?
Probably higher.
Sorry, a lower number.
It's probably like the top 5% now. I mean, right?
After last year and the year before, 100%. I think it's got to be a much slimmer number.
Yeah. And it's just a lot of onesie twosies now. And then it's just like, if you're out there doing onesie twosie deals, that's totally fine. You're a stay-at-home mom, whatever the case may be, no harm, no foul in there. It's just, we want to just more professionalism. This is like one of the biggest purchase someone's going to make in their life. And then a lot of these individuals drop the ball and they don't do things like what you're doing to elevate, hey, this is what's going on in the neighborhood. I didn't know anything. I moved here. I was like totally, which is fine. It's fun to go find restaurants and go out and explore. It just would have been nice because like my wife and I, we have also 3 Airbnbs. And so we basically have a guidebook. So it's just nice to give, here's your guidebook. This is a place to check out. Because if you love good Mexican, where am I getting this?
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like I have a 7-year-old daughter. Where are we taking her? What's the best park in town? And so that's where I feel like a lot of these agents doing the YouTube thing is adding a lot of value. So how do you what's your approach? So for your past clients, you touch them on, is it email? Is it social? Is it video? Like, how are you giving them information? Everything?
We do a monthly email newsletter. We do a monthly evidence of success postcard, a real estate story where somebody thought they couldn't sell because of the carpet and, how we solve that problem. Then we add them to all our social, not so much our YouTube. We try to more that's organic. We don't want somebody to watch, 4 seconds of it and then turn it off and kind of mess that up. And then we do an event probably almost monthly.
Wow.
We break them up we do about a third of our events are more targeted towards our B2B. We do a lot of business to business. For example, this month we're doing a free Google business class and we're bringing in an expert on how to have your Google business page work for you. Last year we made some tweaks and I ended up with 3 new closed files off of it. So,
wow.
I mean, it's an hour of our business owners' times.
Yeah.
And this isn't other people in real estate coming. It's, our plumber, our pest control guy.
So all the vendors you work
Yes,
with and send off to your clients.
absolutely. Because the better we can help position them and for them to
Wow.
grow their business, guess what? We're top of mind. My home inspector sends me probably 4 deals a year every single year. So I actually am putting a new listing on this tomorrow
That's
from my escrow
genius.
guy.
Wow.
One of his notaries said, "Hey, we need to sell our house. We're moving out of state. Which of your agents, who do you think we should call?"
Wow.
We got the call.
That is absolutely genius. It's one thing. So the sponsor of the show, Liftoff Agent, we tell the agents, hey, you have a website, have a vendors list, send that out to your potential sellers so they can, even buyers, right? Buyers need maybe new carpet, like paint,
They all
whatever.
need something.
Sellers may declutter, whatever. But to take it a next step and actually help them with their Google business and like give them some literacy on that side, like I always said, like, hey, you could also start like a podcast and interview your vendors. And then when you send a referral over to a vendor, you can email them and say, here's Bob the plumber, and here's our interview. So you can be able to learn a little bit about his business and story.
We do once a month, Ask the Expert. And each month is a different expert in their field. And we do have the plumber coming up. But people need to know here. You move here, you don't know we have hard water. You don't know that technically you should drain your water heater, once a year, every few years. Just the little tidbits that people kind of, they want to know. So we do a third of it is towards our business owners.
Okay.
The other third is more client sphere based, fun things like, we have a gal in a licensed agent that also happens to be a professional baker, but she doesn't want to do it for a living. She enjoys it, but she doesn't enjoy the grind of it. So like we have a truffle making class coming up.
Wow.
I mean, people come out and they're just small gatherings. We usually get about 25 to 30, but I love that. I'm a high functioning introvert. So I can do the small, crowds, the small gatherings. But I don't love the big ones. So we do a third of that, a third, and then the other third is more on life prep things for them that just are helpful. They need to know. So we have one called Life on Paper. And it's just, we bring in an attorney and they get to do Q&A and kind of learn some stuff that they just need to know. A lot of people move here from Arizona and maybe did paperwork in another state or they've been remarried and there's, different variations of full children, half children, stepchildren, and they just don't know the ramifications. And those are very well attended. Every seat is filled every single time. And our attorneys love it. I have a little niche with attorneys. So, because then our attorneys just sit there and go, you know what, let's talk a little bit more in depth online. So they book them for their free consult and they literally we'll have 30 people show up and they'll probably book over half of them for a separate, talk to on their own time privately.
That's amazing.
Yeah, it's a win-win. We've had some experiences over the last few years where we've had clients pass unexpectedly,
God bless.
and it's hard. And knowing that we could provide an opportunity for them get some questions answered, especially when they have young children. It's huge for us. It's kind of a paycheck of the heart.
Wow.
And at the end of the day, we know a lot of people, everybody knows an attorney, but they won't call them. But if you can put them in a room with tacos on a Tuesday for free, they will come and they will ask all those questions. And then it just feels so much easier to your client to take that next step to sit down and talk with somebody. Because I'll tell you, having gone through a parent that I've lost with their stuff in order and one without. The without took 2.5 years of misery and pain. It's like a full-time job.
Wow.
The other one was seamless. And while we still went through grief and all those things you go through,
of course, God bless,
it made life doable as we were going through it.
Wow. I got to say kudos because very, very smart from the perspective of it's not always about tech and what's on the surface level.
Right.
Like you are going so deep down, like you look, social media for everyone out there, 20,000 feet elevation, you can look at stuff. But when you go behind this, like you go like 1,000 feet and you look deeper, like what you're doing is so valuable. Cause like, and I'll just be a testimonial here. Like I came to Arizona, didn't know it was going to be this dry. Didn't know I needed more lotion. Didn't know I needed a water system. Didn't know there's a lot of water, but it's not the best quality water. So then I need to get reverse osmosis systems. I didn't know I'm just going to spend another 7,000 plus after buying the home, which maybe could have, it would have been a different thing for me to think about like maybe what I'm buying and looking for what I need, like a water system, or if there's this or that, whatever the case may be. And
Mhm.
my agent didn't give me any of that education.
Yeah.
When it comes to probate, it's like, there's a lot of people, and even within the organization Liftoff Agent, I talked to some of our team members about that as well to
Mhm.
help out, for their family members, because it's not about what you know, it's what you don't know. And then you learn the hard way, and then you're like, OMG, because
Yeah.
even like I saw your video on social media about solar.
Oh, yeah.
It's like, oh yeah, you're fine. You have solar, should be fine.
Who knew that'd be so triggering?
Yeah, you got a lot of
I that
attention
was the
there.
second time I ran it. The first one had like 1.2 million views or
Wow.
something just because I mentioned, "Hey, there's some more to solar you don't know about."
And I think
Yeah.
that there's a whole series of content out there from anyone out there that wants to potentially do
Mhm.
social and thinking about content and thinking about how to be of value.
Yeah.
What do you know in your market, your area that no one else knows that potentially you could put out there? When you do your events, do you do like a video, like kind of behind the scenes, day in the life vlog of that?
Yeah, yes and no. So I do a couple things. We make sure I blog on anything and everything because I know the crawlers are looking for blog material.
Yep.
So I started out with a blog, then I put it, not only our site, our Google site, our local chamber site,
Oh,
because
nice.
there's certain, sites that get more activity, more
Hmm.
pull. And then, yeah, I do it on social media. Then we have a VA that she does a graphic with just a QR or link for people
Hmm.
to RSVP to that gets
Hmm.
dripped. So we're not overwhelming our CRM.
Yeah, for sure.
So it gets dripped for about 10 days prior to fill those seats. Then we do the after. Then we
Hmm.
do the phone calls. We're so sorry you couldn't make it.
Hmm.
We'd love to see you at the next one. Here's our next event that we have going on.
Wow.
And a lot of people, they just kind of know, like we do one huge event. This year we changed it a little bit, or last
Mhm.
year it was pajamas in the park with Santa. And so it
Ah,
was fun because we've always done photos with Santa.
yeah.
But this way we did it with pajamas. My husband thought it was going to be super silly. Like, really? Guess what? I think we had over 300 people come, and all but maybe 2 families were all
Wow.
dressed because moms loved it, in the matching
Yeah.
jammies, and we did it from, like, 4 to 6:30 at night. It felt like a carnival. It was incredible.
Aw.
It was a super fun event,
Yeah,
so
you're speaking my wife's language. She
yeah.
loves, like, every day she has different stockings on. She has her pants, and then my daughter now, and then her, and then we have all of our matching pajamas. So I can imagine it
Yeah.
being something big. And then also, like, it's an excuse for so many people to go outside the home to be able to wear them and actually
Mhm.
feel, like, comfortable doing it.
Right.
Not feeling like, "Oh, we're going outside, someone's gonna look at me, yada, yada." Like,
In
"No, we're going to an event."
December, it's just a little crisp for us, which
Yeah,
is
it's
like,
definitely not.
"Ooh."
And I don't know what's going on lately. It's been getting warmer quicker. I'm like, "What is this, 80
Right.
degrees?" And then at nighttime, it's like 40 degrees.
Yeah, we're just gonna skip winter, which makes me a little nervous about summer.
Yes, definitely. And then we had that early rain last year,
Mhm.
which was just
Mhm.
crazy, and so we had to deal with some flooding stuff inside of our house, and then
Oh,
I
yeah.
was like, "We're ready for it to happen again." It's like, "Nope, here's summer."
Yeah,
Like,
exactly.
what in
Yeah,
the world?
it's been fun. Yeah.
Wow. Okay, someone's viewing and listening,
Okay.
I'm sure they're gonna be like, "Good for her." That's, they're gonna make excuses. So
Sure.
just to break down some things as far as like, so action steps you've taken to like, 'cause obviously this takes time. We're not doing this overnight, right? This is
Yeah,
taking years and years
I'm
and years.
10 years in as of next month.
Okay, so
Mhm.
congratulations on that. So 10 years, y'all. You could do it in 5 if you have a good mentor, okay?
Yeah,
So systems process, you have help, right? So you have
I
a
do.
team, they help you with this process. You talked about some of your action steps. What
Mhm.
was like the first thing that you did and then it turned into all of the things that you're doing now? Was it just one event
Well, I'll
you
tell you
started with?
one mistake I made, and
Okay.
then so if I could do it over, I didn't know any better, and, I did a lot of deals in my first year when
Yeah,
it was like drinking from a fire hose, right?
I
And
can
I'll
imagine.
I'll never forget, I went on a cruise and I had, like, 10 files I just put under contract, and I
Wow.
thought I bought the web thing, and they said I bought the web thing, but it didn't work.
Oh,
It was
middle of the ocean.
horrible, horrible. And I didn't have a partner or buddy, I wasn't on a team, it was just me.
Oh my.
Yeah, and so, when I came back, I made the mistake of I thought I need a team, and I started looking for agents.
Mm.
I'm gonna tell you that was a mistake. My first hire should have been admin.
Okay.
Some sort of help, admin, even if it was to do non-licensed activities that had nothing to do with, writing a contract. Clearly, I'm not breaking any rules. I'm former military. I do the right things. But there are so many things I could have taken off my plate. I didn't need to do, putting together marketing pieces, putting together, the content, the sphere touches, the booking a venue. I don't need to be the one to go back and forth 3 or 4 different times to get figured out. I'll tell you, even at that time, I have 3 kids and we've got pets and a husband and cars have to be serviced. So I tried the team thing. It was horrible. They were trying to run their thing, but they wanted free leads and then they wanted, to not take a cut. And I'm not saying teams don't work. I'm just saying brand new out the gate, that was not a good choice for me. I had no idea what I was doing. And so it didn't go well. They weren't branding one unit. The train was not going on the same track altogether. And so then I got smart and I got an admin. And again, like I said, literally her just taking off paying my bills.
Oh, wow.
Setting up my kids' dental appointments twice a year or my personal medical appointments, my car appointments, her taking my car to go get it serviced and come back. And guess what? I not like 50,000 over on my oil change again. And I have gas in my car. And she took it for a car wash.
Nice.
So
I love it.
All those things. And then we have rentals. And so you have multiple houses. It is very easy to miss the fact that one of the houses didn't get the gas bill paid because our gas bills are like $12.48. So you don't notice it when it didn't show up. And then now yes. And now it's created this whole storm of things. So, I hired somebody who was the opposite of me, who was, don't get me wrong. When it comes to the contracts, I'm all about details. But with my general life, running, I'm like 85% is good enough. I made it to the appointment. Right. And so,
exactly.
So she was able to and my husband kind of gave me a lot of crap about this. I hired her for 10 hours a week, you guys.
Wow.
10 hours. She was a retired school principal, extremely detail oriented, a single woman, and had moved here, didn't know anybody, just kind of was bored. She retired early. She just wanted something to do. She wanted to be a part of something.
That's awesome.
She did not want to get her license. She did not want to be me.
Yeah.
Right. So, she took my stuff ship shaped. It was like, I was like, really?
Wow.
Literally that 10 hours a week added, I think it was like a net 100 grand to my pay log the next year.
Let's go.
Because I'm not the one that needs to make a phone call to schedule a dentist appointment and play tag 3 different times when they have something goes on. Right?
That's exactly what, y'all need to think about.
So going back to that was my thing. So yes, do I have people now? Yes, I have. My son is a licensed agent. After like 48 times, he passed his test.
Nice, congrats.
It was a celebratory moment.
Wow.
But he's our full-time Monday through Friday. I'm able to pay him. I am the DB, so I'm able to pay him W-2.
Nice.
So he is the first contact on the phones. He runs all the contracts and the behind the scenes. So again, that's not something today I need to really work on. And it's giving him great experience on how to get the nuts and bolts of it. I think there's some people that jump in and they immediately go, I'm just going to hire somebody. And they don't really know the contract. They don't know how it works. I know my first 3 deals, I paid my brokerage. They had a coaching option and you could pay for like half your split for your first 3 deals to have a coach walk you through it.
Yeah.
I said, great, because I don't know what I don't know and I don't want to cost my client.
100%.
But I know how to grow a business. And so, and I would call him and I'd say, I don't understand, is this included or is it not? And he'd literally say, read the contract, and he'd hang up on me. So I'm telling you, by the time I got through those first stinking 3 deals, I knew that contract inside and out. He would not give me any answers.
Wow.
I would finally have to call him and say, well, this is what I read and this is what I think. And he would go, well, good job. You read the contract.
Yeah.
And that was it. So literally my whole team, if they call and ask me something, I'm like, well, what does the contract say? I'm not solving their problem that second.
Yeah.
Go read it.
Yeah.
Call me back. They probably don't want to hear that. So I have my son as my TC. My husband was able to retire about 5 years ago, like 45.
Wow. That's awesome.
Run our ops behind the scenes.
Yeah.
So he's now takes care of all the rentals and the payroll. And
Yeah.
we bought a commercial building a couple of years ago.
Congrats.
Yeah, thank you. And so, just all the stuff. He actually came to me
A
after
lot.
the first month, and he apologized. We've been married almost 30 years, and he said, "I'm so sorry." He used to give me a lot of crap because, if I was writing contracts at 11 o'clock at night or what, he's like, "You had all day. Why are you doing this now? What's the deal?" But you don't understand, if as an agent, you're out there running and you're showing houses all day, and then you got to pop by and get some listing paperwork knocked out or whatever it is.
Yep.
And then maybe you picked up the kids from something. I get it, you guys. I've been there. It's a lot. And yeah, you're sometimes writing contracts at 11 o'clock at night. And so when he was able to take that over, he made six figures on his own. So it was a big,
That's awesome.
like, it was scary for him to
Yeah.
quit. Everything will work. Worst case, the market crashes tomorrow.
I'm right there with you.
We'll go get a job at Walmart and we'll be the district manager like a year later.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Right.
Whatever.
Whatever. He's not so much. He's like, "Oh my gosh, it was a little low this month. We should probably cut the cable." Uh, I'm like, whatever. So he came to me and apologized, and he goes, I don't even know. Like, just taking care of our properties." He's like, "I don't know how you ever sold a house. There's so much that," he goes, "I literally have a full-time job." And I said, "Yeah, that's great." So
Yes.
he does golf like 6 days a week. So he is
nice.
retired, and then he comes in on his own hours and knocks all that out. And so then I have
cool.
a buyer's agent who's part-time W-2. She has very scheduled, Monday through Thursday. She does all the daytime weekly showings for me. And then I have one 1099 agent who
Nice.
is on our team as well. So we're not a big, massive,
Yeah.
There's a handful of us, but I'm former military, and I
I
love
can see that. I
structure.
can see that.
I love procedures and SOPs. Every single thing we do
Yes.
has an SOP. Nobody has to question whose job is what, where. We just do it, and we can work a very high volume. I mean, for our market here, it was decent. We sold 72 houses last year.
Wow, congrats.
For about 30 million. And so we did it. See, I had more time off last year. My daughter had another baby.
Oh, congrats.
And thank you. And I did it working the least amount of hours that I've probably done in a long time, because I took a lot of time off to help out with baby number 2. And yeah.
And that's the thing. A lot of the views listeners out there, they don't understand, and they think they need to work so hard in order to achieve something. And I'm right there with you. It's like, as soon as you have SOPs and KPIs, standard operating procedures and key performance indicators, and you focus on the income producing activities, like what is a top 20% that moves the needle?
Right.
And then you fill the spots, even like for you right now, good exercise, get a piece of paper, put a line down the center. What do you love to do? What do you hate to do? Delegate the things that you don't like to do as much, and do the things that you love to do, because you have more energy from them.
Yes.
And then you could just continue. And so, 90% of what 95 of what I do is all of the team. They do it all. They do the stuff. They work with the agents. They do the production of this entire show. I'm just in the front end. I'm just a cheerleader. I'm just a visionary, same as you.
Same.
My wife's the same. She's like, no, 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 no. She was a teacher for 16 years. We retired her 3 years ago, and she has her tea company. You'll meet her after the show. And so she does her tea thing. She's out there. I'm in here. And she's the same way about like needing to have things very like organized and structured, and like the paycheck. Like, you might be out there thinking about getting in the industry. You won't have a consistent paycheck until you get structured. And a lot of people in the real estate market, like, they just aren't structured.
No.
And if you can be structured, you can have so much more success in this world of real estate than if you're just trying to work with anyone and everyone and drive across town, and you're bending over backwards for people and doing things that is not even what you're supposed to be doing.
Right. And usually those people you're spending so much of that time and that focus on, I hate to say it, but often that's the one that's going to just amount to nothing.
Correct.
So, really figuring out where your sweet spots are, and really working it. You mentioned we're concierge. We don't charge people any extra for doing this, but what happened for example, as soon as they sign a listing agreement, we bring them over a starter kit of boxes.
I love that.
I mean, that may sound like, oh, so we spent like $40, but you know what? To them, it's a couple things. It's a mental, like, we're packing.
Yes.
And secondly, if their cousin Joey's like, "Oh, I just got my license yesterday," you know, hey, they brought us boxes. Like, we're in this
We're
with
in
them.
it.
Yeah, we're a team. My husband walks through with them with the entire. So he was a claim rep for 20 years. So, when the house would flood or you have a minor fire or whatever, he's the guy that came in and wrote the estimate to give to the homeowner to then have a vendor put it all back together.
Okay.
So he knows exactly what reasonable and necessary pricing is. He knows that if you sent it to 10 different vendors, they would pay off of this insurance price versus the one guy that's trying to charge you double. So he immediately comes in and does a walkthrough assessment with them on anything that we're like, listen, those exposed wires that are sparking over there, we should probably get them fixed before we go live.
Yeah. You don't want to be under contract and the next, inspection's like, nope.
Right. But it's an overwhelming time frame for them.
Yeah.
So he will be the one to call and get the trusted, vetted quotes. And we don't do it. He just presents it to them and says, here's what the vendor said. Do you want to move forward or not? And if they say, yeah, I want to move forward, absolutely, then he does all the coordination.
Wow.
So they don't have to because they're busy trying to pack their boxes.
Yeah.
Right.
No time for that.
They do not have time for that. And then to the point of even every single one of our houses, we make a custom sign.
Wow.
And people are like, what? That must cost money. You're right. It costs a couple bucks, but when you do stuff on a really high volume, so we take my photo, our photos are not on our signs.
Okay.
We take the best photo of the house or the best 3 photos of the house, and that is the sign with our brokerage information. So we get a lot of sign calls from the neighbors to sell their house because they're like, I've never seen anything like that. Neighbors will be out there taking pictures of the sign. And of course, we have the QR code that leads all back to the tech. So we know who's doing what, when, where. But we love tech too. We use Fub and Fellow and I can't wait. And then we're Zillow Showcase. And so, just those things to help fill out. And I like to say they're part of our team. They're just, it's a different part of our team. And then we do have a VA who works like 10 hours a week for me. And literally her stuff is more on helping with just coordinate some of the marketing component.
Yeah, I talked about that. It was interesting. I think we have a YouTube video and a guide on the fact that open house line is such an amazing tool. I love the QR code. I love the picture. And I love the idea of showcasing the home. I mean, you literally could have if you have a videographer or photographer, sometimes they'll give you a landing page of a listing. And I'm like, well, why don't you tie that into your website? Hello. And then SEO. But, we'll go a little deeper in tech here a little bit. And then from there, it's when they scan it, they can go to that location and they could maybe see a video walkthrough tour. They could have a personalized video from you saying hi, neighbor, you probably saw 123 Main Street and this is a beautiful house. There's a walking tour down below, yada, yada, yada. And I think that people are just sloppy and lazy.
Yes. I went to an open house this weekend. He hadn't turned on the lights. He turned on the light in the kitchen where we were standing and the entire rest, and it was the shades were pulled. So it was really dark in the other rooms. And I thought, turn on the lights. Just,
hello.
Simple little things.
So I've been here for 5 years. And I have to say, just from the short, I can't believe it's already been 40 minutes conversation, you are light years ahead. Hence why 70 plus listings in 12 months. There are a lot of the individuals, not just in Arizona, but all across the country, because here in Arizona, because we're here, I've gone to open houses. We have some houses for sale here in our neighborhood. And I'm just like, what is going on right now? Just the no lights on, the blinds pulled, and there's something to be said about the fact that the universe, God, call it what you will, works in mysterious ways. And the things that you've seen or I see and the things that we're pointing out right now are the things that people need to learn to get past themselves, because all it is self-sabotage of success.
Right.
Because you're sabotaging yourself. And people don't know, yesterday I met an agent and she was just it was a referral back to had a buyer lead, gave it to an agent out here. They have a brokerage. They then got a site from us. Then that site yielded us another opportunity, right?
Sure.
So there's a compound effect.
Full circle
moment. So I met this agent, God bless her. She had a house here. She sold it. And then she moved to Florida. And she said, I really just want to work with agents, or I want to work with buyers and sellers that are just ready to make a move. And we're sitting there having a conversation for a strategy call. And she's, God bless, just on the couch in her blanket, just chilling, cozy up. I'm like, all right, cool. That's fine. So I go with it. I'm just having a conversation. And by the end of it, it's I got to call, Real Geeks and, reach out to me in a week and this and that. I'm like, you do know you are the person you don't want to work with.
Yeah.
And people don't even see that. It is that simple. It's like, look in the mirror. You are probably the person you are trying not to work with. But if you just say, hey, I'm going to make a move now, it's like you were already referred in. You already had the information. We already had a couple conversations back and forth via text. And it was funny because I was texting her. I was like, you should just go with like Real Geeks. And in the conversation, like she's like, yeah, I got to cancel Real Geeks. I'm like, yeah, I knew you were already with them. It's hard not to profile people,
Yeah.
but when you've been in it long enough, about
You
11
just
years,
know.
you
You
just
just
know.
know.
You're just
Yeah.
like, okay, like I'm gonna have to ask you some qualifying questions before we get any deeper because I just got to protect myself, my energy, and making sure that like I'm on the path of where I want to go here.
100%. Yeah, same thing with, on the listing side, sometimes they already know, and for their own purposes, they feel like they're supposed to have a second person come in, but they're just tire
Mm-hmm.
kicking. They already know they're going with that first person, right? And sometimes you
Mm-hmm.
just know this and you're spinning your wheels because they're just using it doesn't matter what you say. They're gonna use that information to validate why they think they still have to go with their
Yes.
cousin.
Yes, 100%. And
Mhm,
that's why I like how you said earlier, like the boxes are there. You're already doing things to be proactive because that's only going to solidify
mhm.
what we're doing, where we're going, what's happening. And it's interesting too. It's just like in the silent treatment too. It's like, just, y'all just be upfront and honest. And if you want to go somewhere else or do something else, just be upfront about it. So that way we're all on the same page.
Yes.
Because you probably had a lot of times where people like they ghost you, they don't say anything, or next thing you know, it's a week later and they call you back and they were talking to Uncle Joe
Yeah.
and they're like, no, this isn't gonna work. You're like,
Yeah.
well, couldn't you just told me that a week ago? And
Right. We're pretty candid. I mean,
are
I
you?
think that's one of the things that's some of my military background.
Yeah, yeah.
And the beauty of it is when you get the opportunity to start doing a higher volume, you you can more freely, comfortably just say, we really need to know by Tuesday because our schedule will be booked up by then. We already have 2 new listings going on and we want to make sure our energy and our position is correct and our
Yeah.
timing for you, but we can't do it on the fly. So you
Mm-hmm.
may be able to call, Uncle Joe on Thursday at 8 p.m. and he's telling you he can have it on the market for you the next day. We have steps to do it the right way and your home is a product of our service.
Oof.
So you're either with us or we're just moving on. Just let us know what's best.
And to add to that, you don't even really technically. This reminds me of Ryan Serhant wanting to be on Million Dollar like New York show, whatever.
Oh, yeah.
He basically he told the producers he had all this stuff going on. He really didn't, and then he like rents a Range Rover and all this stuff, and he was just like dealing with like rentals at this time. But he already was coming from his future existence of what he
Right.
wanted to achieve, and that's why it's like even if y'all don't have that much, you're not that busy, it's cool to get a schedule set up and say, hey, I'm taking lunch from this time. I'm going to
Mhm.
go to the gym at this time. I'm going to prospect at this time. I'm going to do social at this time. And then you can like time block things, right? Because I had another interesting story where I had there's a coach, Elias. He has keep it moving coaching. He was out here. We did this Floor Daddy over in I want to
Oh, yeah. I
say
know Floor
Floor
Daddy,
Daddy. So
Jason over there.
Jason, and then Cody Sperber and all that. So
Mhm.
they gave their location for us to an event, 100 plus agents. I give a keynote. I'm talking to them, and like out of the 8 agents, set up a meeting, 26 downloaded our 10 game changing tools for your website. We had one that was like pretty much almost ready. They used Follow Up Boss. Follow Up
Mhm.
Boss just had an event in December as well. And then she was like, "Oh, yeah, I had a double booking, and I went to go on a listing appointment, and this and that." I'm just like, I appreciate you. I'm sorry, but this isn't going to work. You're
Mhm.
chasing business. You don't respect me as a human, more importantly, than
Mhm.
outside of just because I'm yeah, cool. I own a marketing company and a
Right.
service. Like I understand, but it's like, go ahead and chase your business. This isn't going to work out. Cause like when you live and die by a calendar and your clients see that and you tell them, sorry, that time's not available, they respect that.
Mhm.
But people don't understand that. And then once it's like the kids, right? You give them a little inch, like my daughter, she's 7 and she'll take a mile and you got to rein them back in. You're like, no, 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 no.
Yeah. 100%. My whole world, my family knows everybody except for one day a week where I do have a networking group that starts at 8.
Okay.
I don't start before 9. Period. I just don't start before 9.
I'm right there with you.
Yeah. And I it's not that I'm not up. I'm actually an early bird, but I enjoy walking my dogs.
Yeah.
I have my grandbabies. Unfortunately live with us right now.
Okay.
So I get my coffee with my
Aw.
grandbabies, my husband. We have real breakfast. But I had an assistant a couple years ago, and she heard me say that, but then she went and booked something with somebody at 8 o'clock. And I just said to her, I'm like I said, I'm pretty straightforward. I said, okay, that's awesome. Are you going on that appointment or are you going to call them back and reschedule? she went on that appointment.
Ooh.
And she never did it again.
Yeah.
Sometimes you just have to have a consequence. And I just tell my clients, I think some agents, they make it harder than it needs to. I just say, hey, listen, as you know, there's going to be times we're going to go see a house at, 7 o'clock at night. It's really hard, nights and weekends. I work some really wonky hours because I know that's when you have the time available to go see a house or for me to come over and look at your house after work. So the only time I protect is before 9 a.m. You're welcome to text me, message me, do whatever you want. I don't care if it's 3 a.m. My phone is on silent. I will not see it until 9 a.m. And I have yet to have pushback from
That's
a single
awesome.
person. Because sometimes they just need that little context.
Yeah.
Oh, that's right. She is going to sacrifice going out with me at 6:45 tomorrow night.
Yeah, because if you're coming from an empty cup, you can't be able to pour from a full cup to give them all of you because you didn't get that time with the grandbabies or the breakfast or the gym or the walk or whatever you do for you.
Right.
And that's where it's just like you have to have that time. I mean, even before we got on the show, it was just like, well, I didn't give any of my time. I didn't give myself any time over the weekend, and so now I'm just like coming a little bit empty. But y'all don't know that. Now,
It's not great.
Now you maybe do. It did turn out great because there's also a thing I feel like, there's certain people that give you energy from a conversation and there's other conversations you're just like, oh my God, I need to take 5.
Am I going to make it?
And that meeting was just heavy as all heck. What the heck just happened right there? But yeah, it's good that you guard your time. I think people out there should also guard their time. And that's where I feel technology, and we can go a little deeper into tech in the segment, is like so important. Like there's Calendly.com, there's the Google Calendar, people could book scheduled appointments with you, easy peasy lemon squeezy. And then if you just have people at that standard of like, here's the link, schedule an appointment, you'll see when I'm available, they're not going to know the difference.
100%. And agents, I have to tell you right now, if you're running around showing people houses without a true buyer orientation, you're wrong or you're struggling. And I don't mean to be, but let's be honest, you need to qualify them.
Yes.
You need to set groundwork and expectations. And again, I think a lot of people, especially, I've talked with maybe agents that were teachers before. It's weird because they want to, they're so helpful.
Yeah.
And they're so great at educating and coaching. Yeah. But it's not a conversation that can be done on the fly. And you need that client to respect you and respect your time. And that comes from saying to them, listen, when we get out there, there's going to be some things that you need to know about before we're in the house. And this is actually going to save you hours and hours and hours of time of us driving around to look at things that don't make sense. So we've got to schedule a quick little orientation. It can be as short as 30 minutes. It can be at my office or we can do it by Zoom. It's a lot easier if we do it at my office because then we have access to really buzz around on the computer together. Because while I got some tech abilities, I'm not super, super techy. And guess what? Most of them come to my office.
I love that.
And then all my stuff's in my happy, friendly places where I know where it is and I can just click, click, click. And I'm not trying to figure out screen share and all that jazz. But it makes a huge difference because now I've qualified them. Now I know what we're doing. Now there's no pushback on me having them speak with a lender versus showing them 12 houses. And then they say, this is the one. And you find out from the lender that this is not the one because we're 100K over.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. No, 100%. And it's interesting because then when they come to your office, then, it's your domain, it's your territory, right? And so now they're like the away team coming to your territory. So now you also have a little more uphand, and plus it's more real for them because they're now inside your office doing this. And that's where I feel like, a lot of individuals out there don't understand that, like, if you don't have an office, if you are a cloud-based brokerage, you could then have, and this is where I like to use like tech and automation, where it's like, if someone can't be at least like, if you're like saying like, there's like you could lead a horse to water, but you can't force them to drink it. So you're talking to a buyer and you know that they want to buy. Fantastic. All right. Well, I need you to fill out this form. I'm going to send you a link. Watch this video. If they can't do just some basic stuff, then it's like, do you really want to talk and work with them? Because, if this, then that, if they can't do this, then are they going to really do that? And do you really want to bend over backwards? And that's where I feel like a lot of agents get burnt out or they leave the business because they don't put boundaries. They don't use tech. They don't set it right expectations. They let the client drag them all over the place and they get burnt out and they're like, I can't do this anymore.
Right. I 100% agree.
Right.
Yeah. I think sometimes, and the funny thing is you start having these conversations on the regular. They're not hard conversations.
No.
After a while. I think it's just intimidating for a lot of people initially. I know, when the buyer broker came out, everybody was up in arms and freaked out. Well, I was told from day one that this is a form you're supposed to have filled out.
Yep.
And I'm former military,
Yep.
like I said, so I follow the rules. So I had used a buyer broker from the very day one of my career.
Didn't even affect you.
Never affected me. I never got pushback. I had one VIP attorney who gave me a little pushback, but he still bought and he still signed. And so it just has to become a comfortable part of your conversation. And if you're struggling with that, one of the best things I think in regards to tech that people, agents could be taking advantage of today, pay the $20 for a ChatGPT, train it to your voice, your brand, your everything. There's a whole series of questions and words that you can say. I am like, I'm innovative, I'm proactive, I'm structured, I'm compassionate, and train it to who you are. And then mine, I even tell it, like, if I'm using it for something as simple as a listing description, but I go way deeper on that. And it says, oh, this is a Bose cabinets. I'm like, do not ever use the word boast again, ever. And it will save that to the memory. So for some of these challenging conversations, or what feels like challenging as they're getting comfortable or getting used to it, is say, hey, listen, I need to learn how to have this type of conversation with clients. You know me as my brand voice. You know how I speak. So it sounds authentic to me.
Yep.
What is a script or some verbiage that I can speak in these situations over and over and over? I'll tell you, by the time you've done it seventh, eighth, ninth time, it's going to roll off your lips like it's nothing. And I will tell you, 10 times out of 10, half the battle is just your confidence.
Yep.
When you say it.
Yep.
You just have to have confidence. And then they go, oh, okay. Because most folks, it's been at least 8 years since they bought a house or sold a house. And it was probably, at least for us, it was in another state.
Yep.
And they just don't remember. They don't remember what's norm or what's not norm. And so if you just tell most people, or usually, they go, oh, okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Done.
Yeah. And it's not this big to do we built up in our head.
Yeah, 100%. And to reverse engineer that, this is just something I thought when you said the whole ChatGPT, make it learn. If you already have ChatGPT, I want you to try this real quick. Okay. Go into your ChatGPT, if you haven't already gave it like the prompts, like you were just saying, and ask it to explain what it knows about you. Say, something like a prompt could be, I'm curious what you think I am, how I am as a person. Give me some context. Am I proactive? Am I reactionary? Am I positive? Am I negative? Just ask it some prompts as far as what you want to ask ChatGPT that thinks and knows of you, because take it to the next step. Because it's AI, what it does is like, I was doing something, like I would ask it questions and whatever else, and I'm not the best speller. So held back in third grade, chewed in my ears, learning disability, what have you. Blessed to be where I'm at today. And so I asked it something, and it like wrote something up based off of all of the prior prompts and what I actually said before. So it's interesting how it'll automatically, not that it has like an opinion about you, but it'll automatically kind of know who you are without even doing the prompts if you're using it as is. And then you can elaborate what you said. So I'm curious to see, and you can comment down below what comes up for you, and what it you even like copy and paste the prompt or what it says to you into the chat below and comment on that. But I'm just curious. So I was like, that's an interesting way to reinverse engineer. I'm going to actually do that myself after the show. And be like,
we use it for everything. Every piece of marketing that we put together, we run it through and say, is this true to our brand voice? Is there a better way we could state this?
Yes.
So for example, I work very closely with attorneys.
Okay.
And when I'm pursuing a new attorney, I will say, tell me everything you can about Sally Macbeth. And I want to know her hobbies, her activities, her charitable contributions. Where did she go to school? How long has she lived here? Does she love dogs? Does she have kids? I want to know everything about them. And then I'll say, now give me a 6-month follow-up that is not over the top, it's not cheesy, it's subtle, and it will play into Sally's style. So, for example, one of my attorneys, it was saying something about she really enjoys, from her socials, they got it that she really enjoys hiking and nature walks. And so one of the things was to do, just a note card and say, I don't know if you know, but they just reopened XYZ Trail.
Ooh.
It's just a little nugget.
Yeah.
It's a little something, but it shares and it shows that I'm paying attention. It's just not the exact same thing I gave to everybody. So
Love
again,
that.
asking the questions, looking, I'm
Yes.
just using tech to help me cut through the noise.
Yeah, I love that. And you said something about dogs. How'd you come up with the name for
My
your
husband thought
business?
I was crazy. He's like, it's cartoony, it's this, that, and the other. So I have found, and don't come after me in the comments, but a lot of agents, at least here in Arizona, it's the Jones Group or the Smith team. And I don't know if you've caught the
Touche.
theme yet, but people don't care. In my opinion, sellers and buyers don't care about me.
Nope.
Now, don't get me wrong. We become friends and whatnot, but at the end of the day, their needs are more important than our needs. That's why we never tell them we're at our kids' game, right? We're at an appointment. And so I didn't want to be that. And I also thought, I've already sold a business before.
Yeah.
If I could grow a brand or something along the lines, I just didn't know what I knew. I didn't know going in, but I just knew I didn't want it to be my name because my last name's Tauscher. Nobody can say it, spell it, remember it. My mom, I've been married almost 30 years, still says Angela Trauscher. There's no R in the beginning. And so I'm like, if my own mom can't get it right? This is not
gonna happen for the general
it's
public.
not happening. And we love dogs. We've always done a lot of rescue work.
Nice.
And just different ways that we can contribute it back to the dog community. And so I just thought, you know what? Rover is something people can say, spell, and remember. And it has worked out so geniusly. I don't know if you noticed the in the eye is like the Google placement or pin.
Yeah.
One of my friends actually did all the art. I think she still does all the artwork for ASU and Four Peaks Brewery. I'll never forget, like my third year in, I have an agent, my part-time agent, has been with us for like 8 years.
Wow.
And she had taken her car for service and she took an Uber. They told her it was going to take her a couple hours. So she took an Uber to go to the nearby mall. And then, you guys know every Uber driver has a real estate license in Arizona, right? So, nothing bad. No hate out there.
Fine.
He was asking her what she does. She says she's a realtor. And he goes, well, what brokerage? And she goes, you'll never have heard of us. We're just, and at that time it was literally me, her, and like a 10-hour a week person, doing admin. She was like, you never heard of us. We're small brokerage. And he was like, no, what's your name? What brokerage? And she said, Rover Realty, but I'm telling you, you've never heard of us. She was in a dealership up in Scottsdale.
Yeah.
And at that time we were still mostly East Valley. And he goes, oh, with the dog and the pin in the eye. And she goes, you've got to be kidding me.
What?
He goes, my wife and I are personally shopping for a house. And we were out in like Levine or Awatuki or something. And we were standing in line waiting to get in your house because it was, more COVID time. It was a ways ago. And he was like, and we took pictures. Look, we took selfies with your sign.
What the heck?
So awesome.
Wow. Dude.
So you just never know. It doesn't have to be, branding is branding if it's just done right. I think my target with branding is always what is appealing to the other side versus what is appealing to me.
Yes, 100%. I absolutely love that. And that's why we went with Liftoff Agent because we help them lift off. I'm Mr. Liftoff.
That's
fantastic.
fantastic.
And I just started a new episode called, or new podcast, kind of like Joe Rogan Experience, called The Liftoff Experience. So it's kind of like a trifecta. And the real estate versus technology, we're just going to leave it as is. We're hundreds of episodes in now. So like, we'll leave this one tech first, hour long, but it's so true. It's like, how do you embody it? So it's something. And then I have GTR supercar, I have a TRX. And so they both have launch modes. I'm like, you ready to lift off? So when you go in the car with me, and then the GTR shoots flames, rocket. So it goes real deep. And if you look at this rocket's a rocket.
Oh yeah.
So there's all this little things, the carpet. So
I love it.
My toenails need to be redone. They were supposed to be blue and yellow, but I'm a little overdue there.
I hear you. I'm hiding the missing finger.
Right?
Slammed it in the door.
Oh no.
Yeah.
Well, hope you didn't lose a finger. That's better than you losing a finger.
Just a nail.
Oh yeah. I lost a finger. I had when I was a kid, 7 years old in the door.
Yeah.
The whole tip got cut off. It was no bueno. Very much hurt. But that's the thing. I think that, people out there who's viewing and listening, don't make it ego. I think that the day and the age of, and it's fine, it's just you and you've done this, the name, the legacy, it's going to live on forever. That's like, but really, like, it's like, it's fine if that's you and you want to have your name live on forever. But honestly, like, even my name is like Norman Lloyd Kinsey the third. Like, okay, cool. It kind of sounds royal or something, like, but I don't really care.
Right.
So that's why I did something that I felt like would make people like remember it. So even
Mhm.
when I go to Starbucks or something, I'm like, I want to put Mr. Liftoff. And they're like, Mr. Liftoff is just one of those things
It's
that
like
like
Mr. Wonderful.
Mr. Wonderful,
Right?
you know? And it just makes it so much more just memorable and interesting. So
Mhm.
congratulations on the sign and the
Yeah.
dog and how that worked out. That's so cool. But man, I can't believe we're already been an hour.
I know. I don't know where the time went.
That went like by so fast. And
Yeah.
she's so prompt, so prompt.
Oh.
And I want to say that I appreciate, you just showing up and being unapologetically you. And I
Thank
appreciate
you.
you giving me that little extra push today to be like, no, we're doing this. I'm here. Let's go.
I am. I was like, I'm sorry. Well, too, when you
Yeah.
have things planned out, I would think one of the best parts about being successful in this business
Hmm.
is you get the opportunity to plan out your time,
Yeah.
plan out what your life would look like.
Yeah.
So I am hardcore to my calendar.
This is part of life here. Okay.
Yeah.
We're going to make sure this is a part of what's going down here.
Yeah.
But it's a testimonial to your
Thank you.
success. And thank you too. And it's just amazing to show the viewers and listeners out there what is possible. You don't have to, and that's one thing we preach at Lift Off Age. You don't have to work more to earn more. You could actually
Mhm.
work less and make more, as crazy as that sounds,
Mhm.
and control your schedule and then live and die by your calendar. And even if you aren't super busy, you could still just put in what you're doing and then blame it on the calendar. Sorry, I have this going on, that going on, whatever the case may be.
Yeah. I had a board for
Really?
an imaginary board
Okay.
for like my first 3 or 4 years, because I worked my landscaping company full time for the
Yeah.
first 2 years before I sold it.
Okay.
Because I was, what if it was a fluke type
Yeah.
of thing? And when people call and ask
Hmm.
for, my time or my donations or my this or my that, I just say, I'll have to run that by my board. Let me get back to you.
Yeah.
Well, my board was like me and my board, but it's amazing how many people never called back. So it was just,
Wow.
it's same thing, just learning to say no
Yeah.
to the right things.
Yeah. Guard your time, guard your
Mhm.
energy,
Yeah.
live and die by the calendar. So, as we put bookends on
Mhm.
today's episode and show, what would you like to finalize our episode with as far as gold nuggets, a takeaway for them? What would you like to say to end us out?
I would just say connect. I think connection is a lost art. And if you're struggling or you just want to put some regular deals on the plate, who are you talking to today? Because we know there's a 30, 60, 90 day, probably 60, 90-day trail
Hmm.
on everything. And if such an easy to me, low hanging fruit
Mm.
for agents that are just looking to take it to that next level or to take it to some consistency is if you don't have as simple as a go-to AC person, go-to plumber, go-to dog walker. So the people that are at homes, in homes, I train them. Not only do I get to know them and do whatever I can to make sure they're someone I know, like, and trust, and I would feel comfortable, sending them over to my grandmother's house. But then I look to help build their success, build their business. And then once we've built that relationship, I teach them on
Mm.
what to look for and what to ask for. I have a dog trainer. He's dog training at their house 5 and 6 different times throughout the process. And every
Wow.
single time he's saying, "Hey, I saw you guys are painting over there. Are you just doing some spring cleaning, some spring touch up?" "No, we're thinking about selling the house." "Oh my goodness, you've got to talk to my agent. Do you have somebody?" "Well, no, not, my locksmith gal, she just called 2 days ago. We went out and did the listing appointment
Hmm.
the next day. It's probably the 8th person she's sent me in the last 12 months because
Wow.
she's getting the calls for when they let the renter go. They decided they don't want to be a landlord anymore. They're going to change out the keys. They got to sell it. She's literally putting them on speaker
Mm.
while she's standing there changing the keys,
Wow.
saying, "You got to talk to my gal. She's the pit bull that's going to get your household in this market." My advice: find those go to vendors, and they will also become your friends, which is fun and amazing in a world where we're kind of in a lonely business sometimes,
Yep.
and they understand your crazy wild self that's happening.
Hmm.
um, so that's where I would say with that to
That
finish it off.
that was amazing advice. And I have to say, after 550 plus episodes, I've never had anyone really go as deep as you have on this specific type of way to navigate. And it makes so much sense because
Mhm.
where do you start? Start with your SOI. Who's your SOI? People in your phone. Then you're trying to get them to buy or sell. It's very hard. Go build these relationships. You can then have almost like your own little cool networking, crew. Help them however you possibly can, and then you keep top of mind. They feed you business. I mean, that is so smart.
I try. Thank you.
No,
I'm a big believer working smart, not hard.
yes.
So I'm always thinking about who's in the homes, your in-home massage people, your senior care helpers, your locksmiths are often having to go to the homes for various reasons.
Yeah.
There's just a lot of people. You just have to sometimes get creative and think about who's going for a regular reason. I mean, I think there's even like doulas,
Yeah.
because they're upsizing, they're having babies
Mm-hmm.
or downsizing. If it's
Mm-hmm.
senior care help, where's that next opportunity of potential because they're
Yeah.
there getting to know them? Because if you have a vendor that's been in somebody's home several times within a short period of time, they kind of get to know each other.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just common. It's human nature, right?
I love that. I love that. So the last thing I'll leave y'all as an exercise, finishing off the episode, is just find 3 of each one. Three locksmiths, 3 clean companies. Could be pest control, could be pool, could be landscaping, all the people that you've mentioned.
Yep.
Take them out for coffee if you don't have a whole lot of money, or lunch if you want, and then vet them and then interview them. Do an interview. You could do it on Zoom, super simple, record it, pop that on YouTube, make them feel special, add them to your list, and then keep top of mind with events that you're doing, which is great.
Yeah. And do them on the same day, back to back.
Yeah.
So that first year I got 34. Every Tuesday, I only have 1 day a week I could do real estate. Every Tuesday, or work on getting business. Every Tuesday, I found a restaurant, Tia Rosa, down the street. They always have those extra weird side rooms.
Perfect.
I would just tip the guy, the waiter, $20. I'd say, hey, listen, I'm gonna have an appointment at 10, an appointment at 11, an appointment at 12.
Yeah.
And then I got a chance to share, they got to meet the next person. So they felt like they made another contact. And I would do a one-to-one with one, then the next one, then the next one. And I did it every single week for a year, 3 a week. And that was it. And I had a 3-hour block of time. And then out of that is where 21 of those 34 were business folks that I sold houses for.
Wow. That's absolutely amazing. We just met. This is the first time I had not even a slightest clue of how complex everything worked behind the scenes for your business, and like what you were doing and how you put it all together. So I appreciate you allowing us to open up the hood, check out how cool your motor looks. No, that's car concept for me. You're welcome.
I do like a good GTO.
You blinged it out nicely. I see the chrome, Edelbrock, the whole 9. Nice headers. No. And no, that's cool. And hopefully y'all out there will take something from today's episode so you can really apply to your business and have more massive success. Angela, thanks again.
Thank you.
Viewers and listeners, thank you. Thanks, Liftoff Agent, our team, staff, editing, producing the show itself. If you found value, like, subscribe, notification bell. All of her contact information is down below. Give her a follow. Same with ours as well. And
love it.
See you on the next one.
Thank you.